Hello everyone, my name is Ksenia Grishchenko. I'm COO and founder of Solent, where we help our clients with immigration consulting and real estate investment solutions around the globe. Today our topic will be UAE residency and UAE Golden Visa, and I want to introduce my colleague Ekaterina Katkova, Business Development Manager, and she's fully responsible of this topic and will guide us today about different opportunities. Hello, Ekaterina.
Hi, Ksenia. Hi, everyone.
Okay, before we start, I will shortly tell you about our company. We actually do business in three main directions. These are real estate solutions. We work in, of course, UAE and other Middle East countries' real estate markets. It is Dubai, Abu Dhabi, Ras Al Khaimah, and outside of UAE, these are Qatar, Saudi Arabia, Bahrain, Oman, and other countries. In Europe, we do real estate consulting in Mediterranean countries. These are Greece, Spain, Portugal, France, and some others. And we also work with Southeast Asia countries like Thailand or Indonesia and offer real estate advices in these countries. Immigration services solutions, these are mainly second citizenship and residency in European Union and outside of it. We mainly do through investment routes like Caribbean, Malta, and some other countries. And we also do non-investment solutions like startup visa in France, digital nomad offers in Spain, Portugal, Greece, and of course, Golden Visa in European Union. Besides this, we are offering business setup solutions. Mainly, we are focusing on that in the United Arab Emirates, as it's one of our main offices here, and we do different types of business setup, both free zones, mainland, offshore companies. Also, we can offer same services in Montenegro, Spain, Hong Kong. This is basically like an additional solutions for our clients who work with us for residency or citizenship or real estate investments. As we have a capability of handling this direction, we are happy to offer these services to our clients. But today we will speak about residency options in the United Arab Emirates, and we will guide you over the different opportunities. Here is where our offices are. Main office is in Dubai. So we have representative offices in Moscow, Istanbul, and in Tivat in Montenegro. Our partners, and I don't want to take much of it, so I would be happy to give a word to Ekaterina.
Thank you very much, Ksenia. And once again, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you for attending our webinar for UAE Residence and Golden Visa. My name is Ekaterina, and I'm a business development manager here with Solent, where my main profile is UAE Residence and Golden Visa. Myself, I've been living in the UAE for nearly 10 years now, and I'll be honored to discuss and present to you today the benefits, process, and the most common ways on how one can become a UAE resident, and even better, a UAE Golden Visa holder. So on this slide, you see the map of the United Arab Emirates. This is a country located on the southeast of Arabian Peninsula, bordering with Oman and Saudi Arabia, and consists of 7 emirates, which is Abu Dhabi, the capital emirate, Dubai, Sharjah, Ajman, Al Quwain, Fujairah, and Ras Al Khaimah. Generally, you can think about those emirates as states in the US, where technically different states have different laws and certain autonomy. However, they're still connected in one big country. And just to give you an example from the immigration point of view, only the Emirate of Dubai actually has a separate immigration department and separate immigration system, and it is controlled explicitly by the Emirate of Dubai. The rest of the Emirates, Ras Al Khaimah, Fujairah, Abu Dhabi, they are fully controlled from the immigrational point of view by the Emirate of Abu Dhabi, where the capital city of Abu Dhabi is located. Let's talk really quickly about the benefits. Frankly, I think that everybody could pick their favorite and the most important for them, because this country offers so many opportunities and benefits for investors, like access to the UAE banking system. Of course, residents are able to open their bank accounts here and keep them active. It's a tax-free income policy for the individuals, but there is no personal tax, there is no security tax, there is no insurance tax, and etc. It is, of course, a long-term renewable residence and opportunity for the family sponsorship. So for those who are struggling with bringing their families to different countries from the immigrational point of view, UAE is very easy. It is enhanced mobility where your UAE residence will allow you to travel visa-free to certain destinations. Of course, let's not undermine the luxury lifestyle with yachts and high-end houses and cleanliness of the street. This is the access to premium services and luxury lifestyle here in the UAE. And of course, safety and security. It's not a surprise that UAE has been ranked as the safest country in the world for many, many years now, which we are really proud of. And honestly, I have to say that unlike any other countries that has been doing immigration for years now, countries in the European Union, US, Canada, Australia, and others, where the immigration process is quite stable and has a long history, UAE as a government is every single year they're opening more and more opportunities for individuals to become a resident here. Hence,
yeah. If you don't mind, I would add a little bit of practice from our clients. We of course have clients who do relocate themselves or even with the whole family to the UAE and change their lifestyle. But we also have a category of clients that actually use the benefits of having residency here, but they do not change their lifestyle much. They just use it maybe sometimes as an intermediary step. Maybe it is convenient for them to build financial infrastructure because, you know, UAE is somehow in the middle of West and East. It's both very good connected with Asian markets like Singapore and Hong Kong, and China, of course, and as well European and American countries. So in case, let's say for Russian category of clients or for some Middle East types of clients, this may be more convenient and more flexible system for them. And the immigration process, which we will speak about later, is really easy to be open to many different nationalities. And that is the reason when all the other benefits, like an amazing lifestyle here, me too moved to UAE 3 years ago, and I do enjoy living here with my family. So this is all like an add-ups to all the maybe main reasons and goals that some of our clients can set for themselves.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. That's absolutely correct. So what I was saying is that UAE is adding more and more options for entrepreneurs and for businessmen from the immigrational point of view as well to move to the country. For example, the latest additions as of 2025 would be the opportunity for those who are owning yachts in the Emirates of Abu Dhabi. There is an opportunity for you to get a golden visa here. Or, for example, the blue visa that was also launched quite recently, that is designed for the individuals who had made a significant contribution towards the environmental protection, sustainability inside and outside of the UAE. These are just the simple examples. So today we will be looking into the 6 most common types, I would say, for the investors and entrepreneurs on how you can get the UAE residence and UAE Golden Visa as well. So let's first decide what is the difference between the UAE residence visa or investor visa and the UAE Golden Visa. When I'll be talking about your investor visa, which is the residence visa, it is usually a visa that is granted for 2 years. Golden Visa is always a visa that is granted for 10 years, the long-term residence. What are the main differences apart from the duration, of course? One of the main and the most important ones is, of course, the minimum stay requirement in the UAE. If we're talking about investor or residence visa for 2 years, holder of this visa must have a presence in the UAE for at least 1 day every 6 months. So basically 2 days per year. Unlike that category, the Golden Visa holders will not have any minimum stay requirement and basically can either live here for entire duration of their visa, which is 10 years, or to live outside of the country and just keep their assets active here. The other important addition would be the family sponsorship. So the difference would be naturally every single resident here is able to sponsor their direct blood relatives. And by direct blood relatives, we mean a spouse, as long as you're legally married, children above and below 18 years old, and your parents for the Golden Visa holders. As well, as addition for the Golden Visa holders would be the ability to sponsor your domestic help, such as maid, nannies, drivers, and etc. The small point when it comes to the children, children below 18 years of age would be added as your dependents as per default. Children above 18 years of age, there is a note here, for example, for girls that are unmarried and above 18 years old, it is possible to add them without any limit of age. But for sons, for male children, they have to be below 25 years old and also unmarried. Also an interesting fact that there is no necessity to prove your dependency when it comes to children and parents. So basically, if you would like to add your parents as your dependents under your Golden Visas, you don't have to prove that your parents are not working or they're retired. Your children also can be working as well, graduating from university and etc. As long as they're not married, they will be a possibility to add them as the dependents.
Ksenia, if you don't mind, I would read some questions and we can then say what we will talk about later, or maybe stop and respond now. So I see two questions regarding freelancers visas. If any other ways to avail a visa other than through investments, we will be speaking about that. I think we're speaking about all types of, not only investment rules. Also, I like to get freelance visas so as to experience the country before investing. Is it possible? Yeah, this is relevantly same question. And the question from Arun, with investor visa, is medical and education is free for the family?
Everything here in the UAE would be, you will get an access for the medical facility and for the education. However, most of the hospitals here are private. So as long as you will have a local insurance, you will be able to get into the hospitals and subscribe your children to the government and public schools as well. But this opportunity is granted, of course, as long as you're a resident. If you're here on a tourist visa, you will not have this opportunity.
Yeah, and from my side also would add regarding the medical insurance is mandatory here for most of the visas, and you can choose different level of insurance. And for example, you can have like silver or gold level of insurance, and you will have all the services covered, including maternity, including dentist and whatever. And of course, you have to pay for insurance, and the price depends on your health conditions, ages, and so on. But it is not. All is relatively, but it's not super expensive. This is affordable. Yeah, and the scope of services that you will be able to choose in between is really amazing. So all people that we know here, they have insurances and they are happy with medical support. Education is the same. There are some Arabian schools for locals, but most of the expats are choosing one of the private schools. The most popular systems here are IB system, British system. Also, there are Indian schools, American, of course. So different types of curriculums here, and the price per school actually depends on the quality of school, amenities, and so on. And it can vary, like from 8,000 dirham per year up to 100,000 dirham per year, like in every country.
Yeah, correct. I just wanted to add as well, when it comes to the insurance, It is a highly recommended procedure that we are really advising everybody who is getting a residence here, especially when it comes to the investors, due to the fact that hospitals are, as in any country, if you're admitted in a hospital, you will get a bill for that, and this bill will be quite high. And if you have even any kind of a sort of basic insurance, everything is going to be covered for you.
Yeah, and I see the continuum of dialogue from Arun, like he's saying that he has a dual citizenship of US and Canada, and he has medical and education. He gets medical and education till grade 12 for completely free. But yes, here you are not getting a residency, you're not getting a citizenship. The residency is still different. For citizens in different countries, they normally have a social part that are covered by the government. For residency, it's a bit different structure in most of the countries, and in the US also, you're not, if you're just on a green card, you're not getting these full services same as for local citizens. So yeah, we are not speaking about the benefits that local citizens of UAE born here are getting from the government. I think you saw lots of viral videos about that. This is amazing, but this is of course not for everyone who just opened the company and got a residency visa. So that's a little bit different.
Yeah, we are talking mostly about expats and their possibility of basically having a life here, because so far, as of now, even though UAE is offering this kind of permanent residency and long-term residencies for expats, there is no option yet to get a passport here, unless you know, you're Pavel Durov or maybe Elon Musk or something like that, which are a very privileged category of people that are granted the citizenship directly from the government of the UAE. So I think everybody is going to be super curious to understand what do we mean by investment in the visa, and how you can get the visa without any kind of investment. So on this slide, you can see the most common 6 types of opportunity to get the golden visa and the residence visa as well. And I will just explain a bit more about every single category from now on. So of course, the first one will be the golden visa investment in a real estate. I will just give you some highlights and pros and cons here. This is an investor type of golden visa, so you have to invest in a property in the UAE. The investment should be above 2 million dirhams. This must be an investment in a property, which is a bit more than $550,000 US. You're basically purchasing the property here in the UAE. It could be the property under the construction. It could be also the property that is finished already. And with this property, you're getting a certain visa quota, which is attached to your property, which means that you will be able to have this visa and renew it as long as you keep the property. The moment you're trying to sell your property because, for example, you reached your very high ROI that you were planning to do in 5 years and etc., you will, before you will be able to sell the property, you'll have to cancel your visa. You'll have to cancel the visa for all of your dependents, and only after that you'll be able to sell the property, and this visa quota will go to a next owner. What is the latest updates is that as of 2024, there is no minimum requirement anymore for the property completion or minimum down payment. Unlike a number of years before that, the investors might have paid at least 1 million dirhams for the property that is under the development, or the property must be completed for 50% and above in order to qualify for the golden visa. This is not the case anymore. However, one of the cons I would say here that the approval from the land department, it's still required, and your property, as long as it's eligible for the golden visa, will grant it to you. But again, approval from the land department as a technicality must be received. And in practice, I have to say that none of our clients had any rejections in the UAE Golden Visa with the property, simply because we know the process. We have a very experienced team here in Dubai, and we'll be happy to assist anyone who is thinking about buying a property or already has a property and having struggles with the visa. So please feel free to contact us.
I see also the question, sorry for interrupting you, from Arun. He is asking how will I get my money back if he invests $800,000 like for the house, that what will be the ROI? So actually, there are 3 ways to use the property that you are buying. It's either you use it for your personal needs, you live yourself, you send your parents, friends, or you spend vacation there. Second way, you rent it out, and it's super easy to rent a property out in the UAE because, you know, there are holiday homes practice where people rent it like short term, but short term in UAE could be 3 months, 9 months, and etc. Because lots of experts, and there are lots of experts, lots of companies are bringing stuff from other countries. And third way, you let's say resell it after a certain period. So, for example, if you buy not ready, not delivered property, you can resell it when you get the keys and you reach your ROI goals. But if you connect your property to Golden Visa, like Ekaterina was just talking about, you would have to cancel the visa. So you would always have in mind how you, which investment you will replace. Maybe it will be one of the other solutions, which we will talk about later, like bank deposit or nomination or something else. Or you just buy another property on early stage if you want to implement this resale capitalization strategy, like working with off-plan properties and resell them a bit later when the price goes higher. So actually, maybe for those who do Golden Visa through investment, it's better to look for long-term rental strategy, which is also can be quite successful here. And regarding the ROI, it's completely different topic because we have like 2 hours webinars and videos about real estate investment strategies in the UAE. And there can be different strategies. There are lots of developers, lots of projects here, and the ROI can be like starting from 5% up to, let's say, 12% on long-term or short-term rental. It all very much depends, of course, on the entrance price. If you can manage to buy on a low price some distress deals or something and rent it out successfully, so of course we can just provide you the analytics and statistic which locations with buildings are in main demand for that. But if you're interested in this question, we can talk individually and guide you about the potential ROI that you can get on your property here. What are the other questions? Do you have or going to show any data for the past 10 years, like someone investment and how much he make on sale? We have this statistic, but it's not related to residency topic. So we can talk separately about this. And we can also invite you to our real estate market in the UAE webinar, where we show the real cases and examples. And what is good about the UAE, there are lots of transparent and open data. So all statistic is open, it's public, so it's very easy to see the real data where you can validate all the statements.
Great, thank you, Ksenia. Next type, I will quickly stop for the residency visa with investment in the real estate. It is also an investment in the real estate where you're buying a property for above 750,000 dirhams, which is a bit above 200,000 US dollars. In this case, you're granted a 2-year residency visa or 2-year investor visa. The same concept as a golden visa with the property. Your visa is granted as a visa quota that is attached to your property. You're still able to sponsor your spouses and children. Something that not a lot of people know, actually, that your property could be under the development when you are applying for the residence visa. and it could also be mortgaged as long as you complete the minimum down payment of 400,000 dirhams, which is a bit more than the investment cost. You will be able to qualify for this type of visa. One of the cons here is that, frankly, it is relatively longer and more complicated to get this visa than a UAE Golden Visa with the property. For example, for this type of residence visa, you will also require a police clearance certificate that is issued from the UAE. Even though if you've never been a UAE resident, you will still have to get the UAE police clearance certificate. The process takes more than 15 days, sometimes, unlike the Golden Visa that can be done within 7 working days tops. So I would say that the process is more similar to opening a business here, because your property will even get an establishment card, and this is how you're gonna get your visa quota on it. This is the residence visa for the property. Next option would be a bank deposit Golden Visa. Very similar concept to the Golden Visa with the property. It is investment of same 2 million dirhams, but in a bank account. 10-year Golden Visa quota is granted for those who has an existing residential bank account. Unfortunately, as of 2025, no longer joint accounts will be allowed, and there's a limited list of banks that will be qualifying for that. Also, the NOC from the bank will be a mandatory document here. The minimum holding period is 2 years. So after 2 years, your funds will be unblocked and you'll be able to use them. Sponsorship is still in place. The only con here, if you ask me, is that you already must be a resident, an existing resident, because we're talking about residential bank accounts here. Next one, I would say personally is my favorite type. Here we have a Golden Visa, a 10-year visa with a government nomination. Frankly, here we are talking about someone who is making significant investments in business, or also highly skilled employees, C-level executives, and etc. The biggest highlights and pros here is that there's a 10-year Golden Visa that is not attached either to the property or to your bank account. It is an entirely self-sponsored visa for the investors. The minimum holding period here is not applicable. You're granted a 10-year Golden Visa, and as long as you're not canceling it, you'll have it valid. Sponsorship is still in place. And the only note here that, unlike any other types of visas in UAE, the Golden Visa through nomination requires an official letter of approval from the competent authorities, where we entirely take the full process of obtaining this official letter of approval for our clients without any additional documents that are listed on our list of required documents. And these are as simple as your passport copy, your CV or autobiography. It is a digital photo, and of course your physical presence in the UAE for the moment of medical exam and a biometric collection. Speaking of which, every single residence visa or Golden Visa in the UAE will be from the applicant. We will have to have a physical presence here for the medical examination, which is a blood test and the chest X-ray. This is something that that UAE government requires as of the simple medical examination for the spreadable diseases. As I was saying before, the UAE is a super safe country, and this is one of the reasons one of the options on how they're keeping the country super safe and super secured and without any additional without any diseases. So for the Golden Visa with the nomination, the application process is very simple, requires a few documents, as I said. Also, the KYC and the background verification check is mandatory here. That makes it a super attractive option for investors and people who are willing to settle in the UAE, or for those who require long-term visa, just to keep their accounts active and are not planning to move and to live entirely in the UAE for this period. The only con here would be that there is a list of restricted nationalities, unfortunately, and since this is non-investor visa, this visa does not require an investment, the processing cost here is generally a bit higher. But that's about it, really, because the entire process takes up to 1 month, including your medical results and including your biometric collection. And that's it. You're basically leaving the UAE with your golden visa and your printed Emirates ID. The next type of visa would be the golden visa for qualified specialists, or we call it also a salary golden visa. This visa is a great solution also for high-skilled employees and C-level executives who are currently employed in the UAE. The latest updates and highlights here is that in order to qualify for this visa, you first have to have a high educational diploma with equivalency certificate from the Ministry of Education in the UAE. And also your basic salary must be above 30,000 dirhams. It's not a combined salary anymore. This change has been implemented in late 2024. It is a basic salary right now. So your transportation and your accommodation allowance has to be on top of this 30,000 dirhams. It's a super nice option for as I said, for the highly skilled employees and C-level executives. The only con here, I would say that it takes quite a long time to get it, simply because you need a lot of documents, and this visa requires a certain level of preparation. For example, the equivalency certificate, it takes around 1 month to get it from the Ministry of Education. Of course, we're entirely taking care of the full process here, where we will get your documents attested, we will get the equivalency certificate. Also, the latest updates about this visa type is that your company where you're employed officially must have not less than 5 employees, and you must be employed with this certain company for at least 2 years. So previously, what a lot of investors were doing, they were opening their own businesses, paying themselves a high salary, and just getting the golden visa. But UAE government decided to prevent this from happening, and now they implemented this rule of having more than 5 employees in the company, and also unlike before, you had to work in the company only for 6 months. Right now, you have to work for this company for 2 years in order to qualify for this visa. And the last but not the least, which is also a very, very fantastic option, it is a residence visa with a business setup. So here we're talking about a residence or investor visa, which is granted for 2 years for entrepreneurs and business people who would like to kill 3 rabbits in one shot, who would like to open their business in the UAE, become a resident, and also get their personal and corporate bank accounts here. It is a relatively easy business setup process as of all. There is quite a short opening time for the business. I'm talking about up to 10 working days, depending on the jurisdiction, really. Of course, it is an opportunity of 100% ownership, and your company will be your visa sponsor, and opening of the corporate and personal bank accounts simultaneously, as I said. This is a fantastic option for those who are truly planning to open their business here. With the recent implementation of a corporate tax and the VAT, you also must have your bookkeeping, annual reports. You have to keep in mind your annual license costs. So if this is the option, if this is the option that you're thinking explicitly for the residential visa, maybe you should better look at the governmental nomination. Will be cheaper and will grant you more benefits like family sponsorship, maids, drivers, and etc. But as I said, if you are willing to open a business, keep it active, and potentially shift your life here in the UAE or keep this business active from abroad, fantastic option. There is not many nationalities that are restricted. Actually, there is none. There's just additional KYCs for certain nationalities currently, and we'll be also able to help you with the business setup if you're interested in that. That's all from my side for the residences. I think we can move to a few more questions right now, right, Ksenia?
Yes, thank you very much, Ekaterina. Thank you. So we actually discussed now 6 different types of obtaining residency, starting from opening a company, which requires really small costs, and up to investments in real estate or bank deposit and other routes. And yes, I am also already in a dialogue in our chat because I heard, see an opinion that this is more of a selling temporary residency with locked deposit or property. Selling property is also going to be challenging to get out, else money is stuck. That's a catch and very risky. That's a good question and concern. We completely support you taking care of how you're going to exit your investment and plan long term. But what I want to say, that investments in real estate is just one of the 6 routes if you want to do this. This is quite a popular route because many people, thousands of people, are investing in Dubai without even applying to any residency, because some market indicators are very attractive right now. And I cannot say that you can resell it in one click. It's not a stock market or something else. But if you are working with real estate investments, it's quite worth to take a look into Dubai and UAE markets. And it's hard to say in just a couple of words, because this, of course, requires you to look into statistics and analytics, which I already mentioned is very transparent and accessible here. So we are really happy if you decide to take a look into investments here. We will be happy to guide you over this and show you the options to exit and evaluate the risks of that, because any investment is a risk. Of course, it can be like the building cannot finish, something else can happen, the market can go down, and as you know, dirham is connected to US dollars, so in case of world crisis, I don't know, all prices drops, it all can affect, of course. So you as an investor should concern these risks and evaluate them. And we are here to help you with evaluating these risks and to see which factors can protect the investors from here. For example, here all investors have to open escrow accounts. They have to, so money are only, they cannot just grab the money and run away somewhere. The land should be also owned by developers and many other factors. And it's completely different topic, but this is just I wanted to highlight. Second option is a bank deposit. Also, it's just convenient that you, in case you have some money which you anyway keep on your bank deposit, you can do it here and get your 10 years residency, which is quite convenient for many people. And the deposit rates also can be maybe comparably attractive compared to some, I don't know, European deposit rates. And of course, other ways where you can just open a business in case you need a company here. Okay, you are getting your residency. And last but not least, this nomination. It's super easy, no money are invested, nothing to exit from. So these are just my comments, because I think this is important to speak about the concerns and hesitation of the clients, and we are not trying to present one or another program in super positive way, and we are ready to speak about your hesitations and discuss them.
Yeah, so I see some questions from Arun regarding the residency visa with the business setup. So here, when you're opening your business, for example, you're opening a company, let's say in one of the free zones, this company will grant you a visa quota, and this visa will be attached to this company. technically, you will be employed. This is going to be an employment visa or also investor visa. As a shareholder of this company, you will be sponsored by your company that is registered, for example, in this case, in Free Zone. However, in the UAE, there is no actual limitations on how many companies you can work with. The only thing is that if you're planning to work in another company as well, for example, on a service agreement, this other company must grant you something that is called a labor card. So your visa will still be attached to your company that you registered in the Free Zone, for example, but the other company will grant you a labor card, and you will be also able to work on behalf of this company. So I hope this clarifies, and this is applicable to any kind of visa. If you're a golden visa holder with a property, for example, or nomination, and then you're getting employed by a company here in the UAE, you're coming to the company, you're saying, because as per the law, every single employee here must grant you a visa, a residence visa. So you basically can come to your employer and you say, hey, I do have my visa already because I bought a property here. I don't need your visa from your side. Please grant me the labor card. There is no such a term as two visas here. So you cannot have two residence visas. There's only one visa that you can hold. And this is actually, you're going to be in a position of power where you will be able to choose whether you want to keep your own visa, your investor visa, your property visa, and etc., or you're going to get your employment visa, which of course, it is safer for you. It is much better to keep your visa when it comes to the property or self-sponsored visa, government nomination, anything. It is always better to keep your visa and be your own sponsor, because you're physically protected from the employment point of view. If there's any terminations or sudden resignations that you're not ready of, if you're not ready for, you don't have to leave the country simply because your residence visa was canceled by your employer.
I also see two questions from Ashed Robinson. The one is, for investor visa, are the nationalities of Lebanese and Palestinian allowed? The answer is yes. Both those nationalities are allowed for all types of visas. And second question is about retirement visa of 5 years of less amount of investment and deposit. This is still available, and we can also consult you about the step by step. But the process is pretty similar. We just need to prove your previous work experience inside or outside of the UAE, and the age should be older than 55 years of the applicant.
Yeah, and just to add, the retirement visa is also available when it comes to the investment. So you either have to buy a property, but for the smaller amount, or also the bank deposit as well as an option. So yeah, there is such an opportunity. It's just a bit, it has more conditions, if I may say so.
Yeah, the investment amount is 1 million dirham, and also you can show a financial savings of same amount, or a monthly income of equivalent of 20,000 of dirhams, when for the workers it's 30,000. So slightly less amounts to prove. And yes, this works good here. Okay, this question with Arun we already discussed. I also saw a question about aiding to sponsor dependent daughter above 24 years old and spouse. And I think we already covered this question, but we can repeat once again about who we can sponsor from the dependent.
So you can sponsor for if you are the main visa holder for the investor visa, for 2-year visa. You're able to sponsor your spouse, which is as long as you're legally married, and you're able to sponsor your children that are below 18 years of age, who, by the way, don't have to do the medical exam and biometric collection. And you're also able to sponsor your children that are above 18 years of age. For daughters, there is no limit of age as long as they are non-married. And for sons, there is an age limit of 25 years old, and they also must be unmarried below 25. For the golden visa holders, this plus your parents, only your parents, you cannot add your in-laws. Parents that do not have any age limit, you do not have to prove the dependency as well. And just as an addition, I would like to highlight that since I was talking about the blood relatives, unfortunately, in the UAE, your brothers and sisters, your siblings are not considered as blood relatives. Hence, brothers and sisters cannot be sponsored. So it's just your children, your parents, and your spouse.
Thank you. Also, I see the question, as I'm planning to buy property worth 1 million, I want to know if I can apply for the 5 years visa. I think that it is in relation of retirement visa. So yes, Arshid, we can contact after this webinar. We would need to check if you qualify for the criteria of the ages and previous work experience, like proven retirement basements. And later on, we can also guide you what are the requirements for the property, like can it be off plan or should be a little bit ready for a certain percentage, something that we already discussed in the part of Golden Visa for the investors. And later on, we can also advise you regarding the real estate market in case you need any help in this part. Okay, thank you so much for such an active conversation. It's a real pleasure to feel the feedback, to be in a dialogue. It's always much more interesting than just, speak as a lecture. So we really enjoyed this. Hope you too. We can stay in touch later on. And we will send you the presentation to everybody who registered to this webinar. Ekaterina, thank you once again for your time and experience.
Thank you very much, Ksenia. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It was truly a great pleasure to speak about the residences here and to answer your questions as well.
Yeah, wish you a great day today. Bye-bye.
Bye, everybody.